Hi, this is Craig Resnick coming to you from the 2022 ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. With me today is my special guest, Jason Andersen, Vice President, Business Development Line Manager at Stratus Technologies. How are you doing today, Jason?
Doing great. How are you, Craig?
Great. We're glad to have you back.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been a long 2.5 years, and it's great to have you and Stratus back at the forum this year.
Excited to be here.
And we've certainly been talking, besides pandemic issues, we've talked to you a lot about digital transformation and some of the products and solutions that Stratus Technologies has to help their customers along their digital transformation journey. What do you actually have been introducing to your customers to kind of help them with their digital transformation journey? And do you have any specific examples or case studies where you can
Oh, sure.
cite?
Well, let's start with, I think, on the product and capability side of the house. Um, for the longest time, people thought of like edge and IoT as, not needing a lot of compute at the edge. There was always this notion of what cloud involvement would be. We've actually basically been building up larger solutions and larger systems for customers. And the reason really has to do with IT and OT convergence. Now people on the OT side are saying, well, geez, I want to do analytics or I want to put some data in the cloud. And the IT folks are coming and saying, well, let's do that the right way to make sure it's secure and make sure it performs well. So what that means is you're starting to deploy more software at the edge than you might have ever thought before, or you're driving more data through that software than you might have expected, which means that kind of counterintuitively, we're doing larger systems at the edge. That's a big theme. So we have new generation products this year and next year that are bigger. The other thing we're definitely seeing a lot of is people are, our definition of service and support is evolving a bit. I wouldn't say it's a disruptive change. It's much more kind of organic and evolutionary. Whereas with our older products, you basically bought a service and support contract and we delivered a set of services. Now we've modularized it so people are able to say, I want to do something with, I want to make sure that my data is preserved. If I send a unit in, I want you to return my hard drive to me because I want to make sure that data never leaves my hands. Or they want to do replacing and sparing strategies that maybe align better with their business. So we're starting to see people get very serious about how they service and maintain the product over the life cycle. But they're also saying there's some diversity in what they're looking for. So there's not really a good one-size-fits-all package. So we've kind of changed up how we deliver our customer service and support capabilities as well. So it's definitely you're seeing, you're seeing a maturation of what's going on at the edge, which I think is super positive, and it's becoming more robust and more capable.
Yeah. And one of the things I know, certainly your solutions are very, very focused on helping people with unplanned downtime, because that's probably the biggest nemesis of most manufacturers, especially when they can, barely meet their order commitment today. So tell us, what are some of the specifics that Stratus Technologies is providing to help people to minimize or avoid unplanned downtime?
Well, I mean, that's inherent in our product DNA in the sense of there's unplanned downtime and then there's planned downtime. And I think we've done a really good job of having systems that can basically monitor themselves, understand what's going on in the system, and then allow for a seamless failover to redundant core capabilities and things like that. So we have a set of technologies we've built and curated over the years to do just that. But we also look at it more in a holistic way, which is something along the lines of what about even planned downtime? So when one of the other big nemesis is with technology systems and compute systems is things like patching and security bugs and all this other stuff. And you have to make it easy to open up that window in a very timely fashion, to make it very simple to deploy those types of updates to a system in a window where there's no production, or do it seamless to production. So there's a lot of things we've done with our products to also help with planned. The unplanned stuff we've been doing for 40 years, we're the best at it. And now we're starting to get a little bit smarter about how we manage the process over the whole life cycle. And then the third part is the life cycle itself, where industrial customers in particular, they make a capital investment and they depreciate over decades in some cases. Whereas the IT group, it's like they're used to doing a refresh every 3 to 5 years. So we really also spend a lot of time talking about how we're with the customer through the long haul, so our equipment can be deployed in an OT solution, and we could support it for a very long period of time and make sure that replacement parts are there, that if somebody has a problem, you're going to get an experienced person answering the call and all that. So that's another big part of our business model.
Yeah, because I know certainly the people on the OT side have always been very, very familiar with Stratus Technologies. And I know right now with IT/OT convergence, you're getting a chance to, certainly work with a lot of the IT folks as well. So how are you going to develop that same level of trust with the IT folks as you've had for this many, many years that you've established with the OT folks?
Well, it's so funny because when we really got serious about edge computing, in the last decade, let's say, people, we had to build a reputation, which we've built. And, a big part of that building a reputation is our relationship with ARC, which has been great. But we've been around for 40 years. So we kind of came from the IT world. And, a lot of our business is still in the financial services sector or the telecommunications sector. So we really do understand IT need. What we found was that just by the nature of how we did business and the types of products we built, we really were this effective bridge between the two worlds. So what we're finding more and more is that we're able to help our partners explain the IT component of the solution to the IT department, or bridge those gaps that might be in a proposal process or something much better than somebody who just focuses on the OT. We're kind of that bridge, and specifically that includes things like how we do security, how we do, and how we talk about it, how we certify products, how we do testing, and we're able to explain our quality cycles and stuff like that to an IT person, and the software we support. All those things kind of come into the picture to give IT that assurance that this isn't some far afield, one-off type of solution.
And it also helps because I know you certainly have spent a lot of time developing your ecosystem. So tell us a little bit more about your ecosystem.
We really discovered early on that there was, when we walked into this market, I would say there was literally no arrogance on our part about it, literally. And what I mean by that is that we always want to strive to work with partners, particularly in North America and Japan and some of our largest markets, is we want to get to the edge with the help of partners. So this week, what we're talking about is we have a great offering with, say, Rockwell on their plant pack solution, where we bundle the two together and make it super easy to deploy plant packs in a small to medium environment. On the other side of the coin, we also recently announced a micro data center offering with Schneider. And so what we've really decided to do is really place our technology in the context of a solution to make that partner solution better. And that's absolutely core to how we interact with our customer base. We don't just call up, a customer at random and say, hey, buy our stuff. We really do insert ourselves into the overall solution. And the reason for that is real simple, is because that's how people buy stuff. If you're selling to the CIO and you're a big IT company, that's your model. Well, they're selling to a specific part of the business, but we really have to sell and prove ourselves to a different set of stakeholders.
Yeah, you've certainly done a good job of that, and it's been, as I said, great working with you. Glad to have you back at the forum, and look forward to doing this for coming to the many future forums that hopefully we won't have the challenges of the pandemic.
Yeah, and it's absolutely tradition, Craig. This is a highlight of my year, so I appreciate you having me.
We're glad. Thanks so much, Jason. And this is Craig Resnick coming to you from the 2022 ARC Advisory Group Orlando Forum. Thanks so much. Have a great day.